Hey Hero fans, this is Todd, and today we're going to take a look at Sharella and do some customizations on her, because I really want armbands on her forearms here, and I really hate the way the elbows look, because they use the parts from the sorceress, so it gave her really big fat wrists and a weird elbow. So I want to give her that and some kind of wrist bracer on there as well. So with that, let me do a sound check really quick. Sounds good. All right, so I have, I was going to rip up this figure and use that, but I realized I had one left over when I stole her head right here that I'm going to use instead. So I'll go ahead and set this aside. And I have some other figures here. We're going to check the skin tone and see which matches best. And I got lots of gold paints here that we will try out, and some alcohol in order to clean the parts before we use them. So just so you guys know, I'm not destroying my only Sharella. I have another unopened one here, right here, just in case, so I could still keep one in original configuration. But let's get her ready. I'm just gonna pull her arms off. You know, maybe not. Yeah, what the heck. I don't want to destroy her body. Well, her arm's pretty stuck on there. Let's pull her waist off at least and get that belt. And so what's funny is I was looking everywhere for the lost arrow. See that hole right there? And I was going all over my desk, all over my floor, all behind my table in that little crack, everywhere I was looking to see where I lost the arrow. And it's right there. It's just the hole so big. And it was funny too, because I was like, man, I can't believe I lost that so quickly. So when it slid to one side, it just looks like it's missing because you see a hole in there. So I was not frantically, but I was looking everywhere for the lost arrow. The lost arrow. Hey, Imperial, thanks for joining us. Philip, thanks for being here. Filmation Frostus is the closest skin tone I have. Oh, Filmation Frosta. Well, let's take a look at that. All right. Looking in my pile of figures. Oh, I think I might see her. Nope, there's Prince Adam's boot. I saw some fluffy white. I thought that was her. Frosta, where are you? There she is. There she is. We'll take a look at her too then. Good idea. All right, so now as you guys know, I based my Sharella off of the DC Tila, and she had armbands similar to these right here, which I think look really cool. And I like those ones. And someone is telling me that this color was very close, but we'll see which color matches the closest. I'm thinking she's pretty close in skin tone. Maybe not very close as much as I thought in my head. You're right, that's almost the same. Look at that. Click at that. But I kind of hate to destroy Frosta. I only have one Frosta. But you can see the elbows. Here's what I'm talking about. Is right here, you can see how this is kind of weird and sticking out because it has a different arm top that it was made for, and it's just not the same forearm. And it also looks weird too, the way it sits in this arm. It was never made to go in this arm. It's just Mattel forcing it in there so it would reuse parts. Because this is a sleeve, and this is not a sleeve. So we have a sleeve area and a not a sleeve area, and it just doesn't match up right. Anyway, so that has been driving me crazy. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, can't even see Dynamo arm. There we go. I got one arm off. Got the other arm off. Let's toss them in the hot water. Oh, I'm not going to know which is right, which is left, am I? Well, I guess I can. Never mind. By the bottom down here. Okay. Boop. And now let's figure out. I'm going to first start with her and just see how her arms look on there first. See, being such a small little section of skin, it may not be that noticeable that it's different. And I have extra parts of her anyway. So that would be the most prudent pieces to use. And like I said, this one here is close. But for this one, I'd have to also change out the hands. I'll still change out the hands probably for the other one too. We shall see. And we also have Filmation Tila, which again is a little bit darker. A little bit darker now. But you're right, Frosta is probably the closest match. Crazy. All right. There is our armless girl. Let's see who's joined us. Hey, Charles. Thanks for joining us. Delaxorian, thanks for being here. Philip got his today. Nice. All right, let's get our tongs of power. And let's get those arms apart. Sharella's first. Burp. There we go. Those are really pink, especially against the blue. Come on off. There we go. And I'm going to toss those back in there just to keep them nice and toasty warm. Now, I found your water has to be at least 205 degrees for it to soften the plastic good enough. I'm running at 214, so I'm doing good. All right, let's yank these off. There we go. And now let's assemble. 4 arms, assemble. Well, it's 2 arms actually, but oh. There we go. And now let's make sure we got these right. You know what? That's not too bad. It's not perfect, but not terrible. And see, now the elbow actually fits in like it's supposed to too, which I don't know why they just didn't use the whole armbands to begin with. All right, so I think that will work, except for now I need to paint him gold, but I think that will be cool. All right, so now let's get to painting. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. So first off, we need to alcohol clean. Charles, it's fine that you're late, man. It is always cool. You can always go back, rewind, and watch. I'm fine with that. So being late is A-okay. Let's get these extra parts out of here. Now the gold that I'm hoping to use is this one right here. This is my favorite gold. That's what I'm hoping to use. But it's so old, I'm afraid that it will not be soft enough to use. I'm afraid it will has cured in the jar. We shall see. Always use a dry wipe whenever you're cleaning off parts to paint. So again, you want to go wet. And then after you go wet with alcohol, you always have to dry wipe. Otherwise, you'll leave residue from the alcohol and it will not adhere as well. Now, usually this kind of rubber I'd want to take and use some kind of a primer, but I think I'm just going to go for the Gusto. Getting this flipped all around. There we go. Don't want to mix up my right and my left. That could be bad. All right, so I have some paint markers here. Now, paint markers are a great way to go, but sometimes they leave the part sticky. This already has stickiness to it from it sitting in my thing. And whenever you use paint markers, shake them up really good. But sometimes they leave like a sticky residue left behind. So I try to avoid those. Then I have this craft paint here. And the craft paint works pretty good, except for it takes so many layers in order to get the gold to really stay on there. So this is the last resort, or a top coat just to change the coloring a little bit. If it doesn't quite match, then I can use one of these to try to alter the color just a little bit. Ooh, that one matches pretty good. Look at that. So again, these are later on if I need to do a slight alteration. And then here is the color I really want, but it doesn't quite match. Again, I'm probably going to have to go over with this gold afterwards just to give it a little yellow tint. Or I may have to use my yellow ink afterwards. But being this is yellow underneath, it might just work out perfect for us. So let's go ahead and open this up. This is a weird kind of paint. It's like already pre-dried. And so it's really hard to get out of there. So you got to kind of almost force it out with a rough brush. And then once you get the rough brush out, then you just paint it right on. And this is not going to work quite as good as I think. We'll see. We shall see. It's like a rubbery kind of paint. It's really strange. It's funny. I know I usually sing the Mulan song sometimes. You guys probably heard me like a minute ago. And I used to watch it with my kids, Mulan. And one of my sons really liked it a whole lot. And he liked it so much because we used to play Age of Empires. And one of the teams you can choose is the Huns. And so he just thought that was the funniest thing that, and of course we'd always argue about who gets to be the Huns because the Huns were nomad people in the game. And so you didn't have to build houses, which meant you could quickly build your forces up. And if someone came and destroyed your houses or your castles, it didn't affect your limit of how many units you could have. So, yep, I'm seeing now I should have primered this first. It is really hard to get that lip right there. You know what? I'm gonna have to go grab my painting glasses. I just cannot see the difference of where the lip starts and ends. I'll be right back. You guys can look at this paint and so you can see what it is if you decide you want to get some. And I'll be right back. All right, I got my higher magnification glasses. And they are filthy. You got to clean them first. Hold on. Oh, why is Hebrew deep breathing into the microphone? What kind of channel did we just tune into? All right. What an odd paint. Yeah, it is kind of strange. Someone explain to me why Master's Battle Armor Skeletor is insanely priced now. Yes, for some reason it must not have made enough, but he was a cool figure. I remember when I first saw him, I was like, yeah, I got to get that Battle Armor Skeletor. So maybe just more of us bought him, causing the price to skyrocket. Okay, I got my better glasses now. I can see clearly now. My painting glasses are on. Okay, let's try this again, shall we? I can actually see where it starts and ends. How crazy is that? There we go. It's a bummer. I should call Mike Fee when I'm doing a video so he can talk on the phone and tell me when I'm out of frame or something else and read questions to me while I'm doing the live feed videos. just cannot get that gold to stick to that little edge. Oh, out of frame. Let me just zoom this back out a little bit so I'm not so close. All right. Well, that is not looking too shabby. I mean, it's not perfect, but not too shabby there. I might let this one sit, and I might go and do the other side, and then come back to it and slap on some more of this Jello paint. When I first got the idea for this particular paint was from Hunter Knight Customs. Now, I love that guy's customs. They are amazing. If you get a chance, look him up, Hunter Knight Customs. He does some amazing work. And he is really cool at what he does. All right, let's let that sit for a while, and then we'll grab the other arm and do the same. Yes, using tape is a great idea. I've done that before, but for some reason when I use tape, I end up going underneath it, and then I end up with a big old globby mess of paint. Now, this stuff would probably have worked just fine using tape, and I probably should have. And I'll probably use tape on it before I put my clear coats on. It's just so hard to get that little edge right there. Right there. Actually, is Mike on here? I didn't even see Mike feed, did I? That paint is not sticking as good to this one as it did the other one. I must have cleaned the one better with the alcohol than I did this one. Ugh. All right. I should have some music going or something. All right. So just pretend like you're listening to Matthew West, The Motions. If you don't know that song, stick it on your playlist. That's what song's going through my head right now. All right, let's go back to the first one. And let's put on some more paint. It's that top edge. It's so tricky. Tricky. I think that's looking pretty good. All right, let's go back to the first one. That top edge is the craziest thing to try to get. All right. Perfect. No. Cool. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. Hey, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. I've been on a carpenter brute kick myself lately. Nice. That paint is thicker than axle grease. Yes. What is that dry paint used for generally? I'm not sure. I just, like I said, one time I saw this guy using it, and it seemed to work really good for him. Where are my scissors? I know I had them earlier. There they are. They're buried under a pile of female figures. They were hiding the scissors from me. Ugh. There we go. Yep. Oh, what a mess. All right, let's go back through here and clean off any excess. There we go. It's looking pretty clean there. All right, let's do the other side. So I took a Q-tip and I cut it at a 45-degree angle. That way I can get it in there. It's a cardboard Q-tip, not a plastic one. And it just works really good for cleaning. I use it when I clean all kinds of stuff. Just get a 45-degree cut and you can scrape off all kinds of paint mistakes. And it gets right in there without destroying what you painted on purpose. Just a little bit of alcohol, and you can clean that right up. All right, I'm kind of liking how that looks. So now I'm going to throw some blue tape on it and go down and spray paint it really quick. And then I'll put a little bit of yellow ink on it to make it match the other color. Nice. All right, let me go find my blue tape. I should have brought it here before I started this. All right, got my blue tape right here handy. Just got your Sharella today. Nice. Excellent. There we go. That one little curve is just killing me right there. That's as good as it's gonna get. All right. So we'll see who's still here when I come back. I'm going to quickly spray paint these, and I'll be right back in a second. So hood up. Sorry for the weird leaving. I'll let you guys stare at armless Sharella here. If somebody comes, let them know. I'll be right back in the chat. I'm back. I'll show you the paint that I just used. It's the paint that I just used on it. Whew. Sorry, you guys. Ran downstairs, quickly painted it. There it is. And now you should dry pretty quick. And I'm gonna go grab my yellow paint to put on there to get the right tint of gold. Hebrew, my typing skills are amazing. All right, hold on a sec. I'll go grab the yellow. All right, I'm back. I got a cup. I got my paints. I got my parts. Which skin tone matches? Well, the one he found that matches the best actually was her, but I didn't want to use hers, so I ended up using hers right here. Doesn't match perfectly, but it matches nicely. It's not right on, but it's close. All right, let's go and pull this tape off now. While these parts are drying. Where is the end? Oh, there it is. See, it is not quite a match. It's just a little off on skin tone, a little off on the gold paint tone. But where is the start on this one? There it is. There it is. Oh, don't touch. The paint is still a little too wet. I should have brought my heat gun in here, dry it faster. Okay. So, taking a look at this, we can see that this gold paint is a little different shade than this gold paint. So our goal is to get the shades to match. So I have my ink set here. And we could just go with a yellow, which is what I was thinking of at first. But I think the yellow might just make it too light yellow. So we could go with this. And then we could go with the orange here, the skin wash. I like this one a lot. That's a fun one. Or I could go with yellow and brown. But you know what? I'm going to go with the skin wash, I think. So let me go ahead and get this out. Now, another option is just going with this yellowish gold here and just putting a coat over the top of it, which is what I was thinking of originally. But I think I'm going to go with the skin wash here. Oop. Yeah, we'll just set those up there. Perfect. They fell just in the right place. And we'll just put a couple drops. Ka-chink. Ka-chink. Now they are really brown, so I'm going to probably mix that with a little bit of water. And like a dummy, I did not bring any water in here with me. So hold up while I go find some water. You guys can sit there and look at this and watch paint dry. What did I do on Wednesday night? I watched paint dry on Hebrew's channel. Where do you get your supplies, Todd? I get a lot of it from a store called Amazon. And usually I put the links in here for all the stuff I'm using, but I did not. Need water. right, I got my water. Let's see how that paint, if it's dried yet on there. You know what? I could have just used the water from right here. What the heck was I thinking? Okay. Moment of truth. It's still a little wet. You can see that. Usually I wait 15 minutes, but I'm not going to make you guys sit it for 15 minutes while I do this because it'd be way too painful. I found out by accident, add some extra back when I was a maintenance man. Tie down boots. Oh, toilet towel down with a flat bottom. Okay, not quite sure what it's all about. But let's go ahead and add just a drop of water into our cup here. Not quite enough to make a drop. A little too much. Oh, of course it landed on the arm instead of in the cup. All right, and let's see what brush am I going to use. I'm going to use this one right here. Look at that beautiful brush. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's get a little bit of water, a little bit of tan, mix them right up. Where is my paper towel? That's a little bit too thick on there. And let's just brush that on just ever so slightly, just to give it a little bit of goldenness to it. Not a lot, because we don't want it to be overpowering. Just enough so it matches. Just enough so it matches, man. I notice I'm just putting it on small little pieces. I'm not just totally dousing it. And I can feel the brush getting just a little bit sticky, which is cool. So that means it's starting to adhere pretty good. All right, let's compare them. You can just see it's just ever so slightly different. Not a lot, but this one matches closer than this one here. It's just super subtle, but it's just enough to give it that little bit of difference between the two. All right, so let me set this somewhere to dry. I'm running out of spots. I put it over here on my blue tape all by itself. And now let's do the same with the other one. Just a little bit of orange. Just enough to offset it. I'm surprised you guys are still sticking with me after I left for a couple times to go get paint and dry and spray paint stuff. All right, well, that's coming out looking really good. I might put a second coat in the first one. This one actually looks better than the other one. And so what I'm using now is known as game inks. And it's just a great way to lightly change the color of something that you want to be a different shade or different color. It works also good for black washing too. Yeah, that looks mighty good. Good enough to eat. Okay, well, maybe you won't eat it, but just eat it, eat it. Get yourself an egg and beat it. If you're not sure, it's Weird Al Yankovic. Oh yeah, it is looking beautiful. All right. Now, let me clean up my mess. Let that dry for a few minutes. You know what? I'm just going to toss my paintbrushes in the hot water. What the heck? Nope, I can't do that because I might have to use the hot water to put the hands back on. I guess not. I guess you just shove on, don't they? Shove on it. Driving me crazy. You know what? I'll be right back. I'm going to go wash my brushes while that's drying. You guys hang tight one last time. And then when I come back, I will reassemble her with her hands and her arms all back together. So if you want to watch paint dry, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Now, many times I would take and put a clear coat over the top of that just to seal in all the colors. But this time I'm not. I think it'll be fine because I'm not going to use her really harshly or anything else. But I usually put blue tape back on, do another clear coat, and then let it dry again. We are just going to go for the gusto and get those arms back on her. So here is the first arm. I'll hang on up here at the top so I don't damage the wrist straps at all, or the parts I just painted. That arm is really stuck. And then her hands. This hand goes here so I can do it without damaging the paint at all. Fit. Wow, that is tough to get on there. I'm not going to close it all the way. Only one little small gap. And I'll finish closing it later when the paint's completely dry. Let's see if I can do this side. Oh, that was a close one. I just don't want to touch the paint because I know it's not completely dry yet. Anyway, we'll just have our arms stick out like that. So now I can see what she's going to look like. Da-da-da. Of course, I'll put her hands in the rest of the way. But there she is. And again, all the parts that I use for those that are still here, I use the Tila from the Bird 2-pack. And then I use this Citadel Gold. And then I use this Krylon gloss crystal clear. And then I use the skin wash for the game color inks. All right. Love Weird Al. Yes. I was asking the chat what tool to use when painting a moto head. The toilet tie-down bolt. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I actually made a little piece on my 3D printer that fits the heads. I used to use a screwdriver all the time and just put like poster putty or something else, but excellent. All right, so that's it. I think she looks really cool once her hands are pushed all the way back in. It's amazing just adding that yellow tint can just change the gold so much to make it look more like the gold that's on her. Again, it's more of a brown. It's a skin wash tint, but I like that much better. She doesn't have those weird floppy giant wrists and the elbows that just don't quite match up right. I think it just looks a lot better. Of course, now she looks like every other female on Eternia with the big old wrist things, but yes, I've actually used the round clay tools before in my videos. I forgot about that. That is funny. Yep. And just in time, my light is dying. Plug it in to charge it. So it'll be ready for the next video. And let me grab another light, the CC light. There we go. Man, that came out good. Look at that. Click at that. All right, well, that is the end. Thanks for joining me, and good journey. And hopefully you guys have fun customizing. If you do customize, do put pictures on the lounge. We always love to see cool customs and what they look like. Man, her bra thing's always crooked now since I pulled it off that one time. Should have never pulled it off for that video. Oh well, I'll straighten it out later. I think when I put it on, back on, I might have stretched it out on one side. There we go. Thanks, Jeff. All right. Good journey, you guys. Remember to share. It's funny they put that bra under the top. Yes, that is pretty funny that's on there. Good journey now. Bye.